Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out to talk about the future of voice AI and where it's going. This is my first time at AI Summit, and it's really been a pretty cool experience. I've had a lot of fun meeting a bunch of people at our booth, and we've met a bunch of customers. And I ask everybody, why'd you come here and where are you at? And I get a range of answers. I met some people that say, well, I know Siri, but what else should I use? I don't know where to start. There's folks that are using Zero AI today. I meet some folks that are using Rev or one of our competitors for speech recognition, and they're at different parts of their journey. They're thinking about analysis, and we talk about going beyond the transcript, right? Everybody knows what a transcript is. Until recently, AI kind of sucked. Now it's getting pretty good, but Rev is the world leader in transcription, but no customer comes to me for a transcript. They come to me to solve a problem, and a transcript is a means to solving some problem. Different problem for a lawyer, reporter, or doctor. So AI for the first time can not only start to get the text right, but start to drive understanding. LLMs are creating a revolution, and the AI revolution is here today. I believe everybody here in this room knows that you're on this journey to use AI in your business. And honestly, everybody I meet is a little nervous because there's so much happening you can't keep up with it all. Some people here are early. We want to show you a roadmap of how you can bring voice AI into your business. So the title of my talk today, Unlocking Voice Data, is about the fact that every enterprise is swimming in voice data and is not using it. It's in the trash can. But voice data is where your customers are talking to you, and it's the most important data type that you're not using today. And if you use it today, you're going to get an advantage, and if you don't, your competitors might. So let's talk about where that's going. So our mission is to understand the human voice. I believe a mission is something that is unachievable. I don't think we'll ever understand a human voice because the human voice reflects the feelings of the human heart, and that has unlimited complexity. But we're breaking it down, and I'm going to show you how we've broken down the problem. And for those developers in the room, we have APIs to provide the building blocks. So what is voice data? What does it mean? We think there's layers. The first layer, I've spent the last 12 years working on trying to get the words right. The first layer of the voice are the words themselves. The second layer are the ideas that they represent. And below that are the feelings that are coming from here. Transcription and captions and subtitles are features we offer. It's critical for Hollywood for a movie. It's critical if you're bringing content to a mass audience, but it's just the surface. We're skimming the surface of what matters in that voice data. I'll give an example. If you're running an e-commerce company, whether it's a startup or Amazon, and there's a customer interaction, and the person says that, scratched left leg, black leg, that's some words. It might mean this product was defective, right? LLMs can now start to derive meaning, and we're at a point today for the first time in history where we can start to figure out what they're talking about. If we can identify this product that is defective, that matters. But the feelings matter even more. Right? Today we have a pretty preliminary sentiment analysis. We'll get better at it. But if you knew from that call the customer was angry and they were going to churn if you didn't fix it, that's your top priority. How many people in this room listen to your customers as well as you could? What if you could walk in today, coming back from a vacation, and find out which of my customers were most pissed and why? That would be your top priority. So you don't want a transcript. You want to be a better listener. And AI is going to take us there, and we'll talk about the path towards it. I want to ground this in what we believe. There's so much noise in the market about AI, and it's going to take our jobs, robots are going to kill us. There's all this stuff that people are saying that is kind of distracting because it makes headlines. We believe for people, you're going to have an AI co-pilot, and we'll talk about what that means in specificity in this deck, I promise. It's going to do the grunt work so you can do the parts of the job you love. Your business is going to create, I'll define this, a multimodal LLM. You're going to put voice data in with text, and that's going to become your new operating system. It's going to help you listen better than ever before. And for society, my gripe with the world is I think COVID and the rise of remote work has made us more isolated. There's no secret that our society is lonelier and more fragmented than ever. And we can now use this technology to better listen to people and understand what they're talking about. So before I give our predictions, I'm going to give some fun ones from Hollywood and Silicon Valley. My favorite movie about AI, 2001. HAL was a cool robot. Part of what I want to do in this talk is remind you what you might have heard from Hollywood about AI and then shift that perception, right? Hal can do speech recognition, he can read lips, he can play chess. He also is afraid and claims to be conscious. Well, it's entertainment, right? And I think a lot of us have confused what Hollywood has told us with the reality. A more practical prediction, which I would fully endorse, is by David Sachs from the All In podcast, who's a great pundit. He says in 10 years, virtually all business meetings in a company will be recorded, transcribed, and fed into the AI as a co-pilot for the CEO. I think he's right, but I think it's going to happen in 2 years. And your meetings right now, you all in meetings, you're in too many of them, you're sick of them, and if you turn those meetings into information that you could use, you'd be a better leader. So here's our predictions. So I'm going to break down in this talk the history of two critical technologies, ASR and natural language understanding. Whenever we use Siri or Alexa, we're interacting with both. ASR, automatic speech recognition, turns voice into text, and NLU, or natural language understanding, turns text into meaning. Siri and Alexa use them every day. They've been on this 70-year journey, but there's been two breakthroughs. In ASR, the rise of deep learning in 2014 meant that for the first time, you could use a lot of data. And you could get all these servers in the cloud, use a lot of data, and ASR is getting better and better because of that. The LLM is the breakthrough on the meaning side that is changing everything. The combination of those two is magic, and I think that's why we're here today. You guys weren't here, most of you probably weren't here 2 years ago or last year, I don't know the history of this place, but we're here today because LLMs have changed things. Where's it going? Here's our predictions for what's going to happen with voice. My first prediction is that you all are going to start skipping meetings because you're in too many meetings, not for a good reason. I'll break down what that means, but you don't have to be there. Summaries, action items, listening. There's ways that these AI tools are going to make you more productive. You don't have to be in every meeting. Most meetings are too big and too unproductive. Second, you're going to look to automate your job, well, sort of. AI is not going to replace you. AI is not creative or funny or good with clients, right? But AI is really good at grunt work. So my prediction is you're going to automate half your job. And I'll walk you through that too. Finally, your CIO, I'll stay with a little bit of smile, is going to build some version of HAL. What's HAL? That HAL is the computer from 2001. It's a computer you can talk to that can do stuff for you. I want to be able to walk into work in the morning after vacation and say, which of my best customers are happy, which ones are pissed, and what should I do about it? Right? That would help, that would save me a lot of time. And I think it will for you guys too. So multimodal LLMs are on the horizon. I spoke to a bunch of people here. Nobody's built one yet, but it's the future. Let me give a little history. Let's go ahead and see this on the screen, please. Let's take a look at this slide. So here's a crash course in the history of automatic speech recognition, and I'll use this as a bridge to tell us who Rev is. In the 50s, the first ASR could detect the digits, 10 digits. Second one, 16 words, okay? When we started Rev, we used CalD. Deep learning accelerated, and I'd say for AI, you need three things to make AI: data, chips, and algorithms. But data's become most important. Nuance is an important company. I think they were historically the leader in this category. When Siri launched, they launched using Nuance, although Nuance has since been acquired by Microsoft. We'll talk more about that in a second. And OpenAI has raised the bar in open source with the launch of Whisper. Impressive product. So this is the only chart with numbers I have here, I promise. What I'm showing here is word error rate. That's errors. Errors are bad, so lower is good. And Microsoft, Google, Amazon, OpenAI are charted here, and Rev has the best accuracy. I would argue our clients tell us that the difference is bigger than that because of our backstory. So I founded Rev not to build AI. I wasn't thinking about AI when I started Rev. My background was I was a co-founder of Upwork, which is the largest marketplace for freelance work. And I started my career with a desire to create economic opportunity for people around the world. Right? I believe that I was very lucky to get to go to a public school at MIT, and remote work can bring opportunity to everybody everywhere. So we started Rev to create a better platform for remote working. And we specialized early on in jobs that are around speech to text. So we've built the largest marketplace for speech to text, and we're scaling it today For markets like Hollywood that needs high accuracy, or legal, you need high accuracy when you're transcribing a trial. We've used that marketplace to give us the data we needed. So it's because we have 50,000 people working every month correcting our ASR. So I have in the room here, for example, our head of AI, Miguel, who's incredible, and his team has an army of people correcting the AI every day. And that's allowed us to get the advantage in accuracy. Skipping meetings. Many ways to do it. Fundamentally, you got to record your meetings. Rev can help. Transcribe the words. This is early, but LLMs are going to start giving you insights. You got to think about what insights are valuable. It might be insights into a meeting. I've spoken today to 3 different companies doing market research, and they say, we run Zoom meetings, but then we spend hours summarizing what the customers told us, making sense of it. That's grunt work. That's the stuff AI can do for you. You got to focus not on spending face time in the meetings, but on how can you make better decisions faster and getting more done. It'd be better for me, skip a meeting. I want a 1-minute clip of the thing that mattered and figure out, did someone solve that problem for the client, right? We have too many meetings in our culture, and Zoom meetings are draining. It's time to fix that. So next prediction, everybody in this room is going to want an AI copilot. So let me say something about AI copilot. It's a very vague term, doesn't mean anything, but it's the concept that AI is going to help me do my job. Nobody wants an AI pilot. Would you get on a plane with an AI pilot? But would you want a pilot that didn't have a computer? No, you want your pilot to have all the switches and dials, right? You want to have a co-pilot. I'd point out Hal was a co-pilot, but Hal murdered one of the astronauts, right? That's not the kind of co-pilot you want. You want a co-pilot that figures out your job and helps you do it better. So look for the grunt work. AI helps you with it. Find the tools, build a workflow, and get more creative, right? Focus on what you do best. Spend more time with your clients, with people. Spend more time being a human, and let the robots do the stuff that robots do well. So what kind of jobs? I promise to be specific, and here it goes. So what's an AI copilot? I'll give you some examples. Rev's working on a few, and we have customers in the room today that are working on others. What do kids want to be when they grow up? You ask them, and they say these things. I think kids want to be veterinarians, number 1. Astronaut was like number 21. So will AI affect these jobs? Yes. Will AI eliminate these jobs? No. Every job here will exist, but AI is going to change most of the jobs. So if you're in the audience, you're on this journey, where's AI going to help me? I'm going to give you a decision tree to help you think about where AI can work in your job. First question. Oh, the dreams. Do you go into a job for paperwork? Do kids want to be a doctor because of all the insurance forms? No, they want to heal the sick, right? So many people, especially people approaching my age, get disillusioned by the administrivia of the job, and AI can help that. In fact, the biggest benefit for you, if you're thinking large scale about your company, is how can I better retain my employees by offloading the parts of the job that suck. So if you have a job that is highly visual, you should use a visual LLM like DALL-E, which is a product of OpenAI, which is an amazing way to render really cool images. You can say, I want a Christmas-themed video with a robot, and it'll give you one, right? And this sort of tool is going to help creative people be more effective, iterate faster. If you write a lot, you should be using AI. The combination of speech recognition and LLMs can help, and we have customers today that are helping build or that are building, powered by our AI, co-pilots for teachers, cops, doctors, lawyers, writers, and journalists. I'll just give an example or two. So, well, Rev is used by a lot of writers. We have a lot of reporters and writers that use Rev, and it helps them tell better stories. They don't view a transcript as a product. They're writing an article, a story, or a book, but they do interviews. They can't remember it all. We have writers that walk on the beach and dictate, and we have reporters that interview NFL athletes and record them. If you interview Tom Brady, you better get his words right? Accuracy really matters. And today, those tools are, I think, somewhat primitive, but tomorrow, our tools are going to help a reporter by giving them a draft of a story. Our AI copilot, there's a little roadmap here. What if we could read X and find out what's trending, see what the public cares about, and help the reporter write a draft of a story? Everyone's under time pressure. Everyone's in a budget crunch. AI Copilot is going to do half your job. Some validation. I love Axon. Axon is not a household name, but Axon is the most important technology company for law enforcement. Axon used to be known by a name that you guys will all recognize, Taser International. Axon invented the Taser to make policing safer. And they rebranded as Axon, and they're now a software company. They're the leading maker of body cams. Every time you see police footage on TV, you'll see Axon body cam in the left. And all that video is transcribed by our AI. They benchmarked us against every company in the world and found we were most accurate. Axon has the most challenging audio. There's real-world AI and pretend AI. Hollywood AI always works. AI in my kitchen doesn't always work. And they're recording footage on the street in challenging situations, and they choose us because our accuracy is there. Well, what are they doing with it? Policing is not about a transcript. They're now using the transcript to generate a report for the officer. So if the officer makes an arrest, the AI with an LLM will give him a summary write-up. You ever see the cop movie where the cop complains, got the bad guy, has to go back to the office, write the report? Cops are quitting in droves around the country. This technology is going to allow them to do what they love more and get home to their families. Vimeo, who's here today speaking on the panel, just introduced some really cool features for creators, video creators, to help them edit videos faster and make new videos using our AI. Finally, I want to just give a little bit of a foreshadowing to what's next. This, for most of you, this is probably next year and beyond, but many of you guys have tried an LLM for something. Most people today are doing a proof of concept. They're testing the concept, seeing what it can do, mostly in a way that's experimental, right? It doesn't really work that well yet. Is it safe? We're not sure. You know, as for an enterprise, you're thinking, what are they doing with my data? As an FYI, there is an enterprise path towards a more secure LLM. There's companies like Cohere that will give you an LLM that you can lock down on premise, and there's companies externally that may or may not use your data in the way you want. So you got to think about that. What we believe is that if you're not listening to your customers, you're missing out. Most companies today say, LLMs, where do I start? I think the answer is a chatbot for customer service, right? Because your customer service reps often get the answer wrong, and a chatbot gets the answer right? They know how to do things. But the next step is use ASR, find voice data, like your customers. Listen to your customers, get your customers, transcribe it, sales calls, support calls, whatever you want. That's going to give you superpowers. This is going to be a multi-year journey. Every CIO is going to work on this. It's going to take years for it to play out, but if you're in this room, you have an advantage because you can think about it today. A little bit on the LLM. I'm not an expert, but I'll try to simplify it. Some teams at Google, some academics had a great breakthrough. You know, neural nets are technology that everybody uses, but transformers make it more efficient to train these neural nets with a lot of data very efficiently. Okay, and the first LLMs took in text, released text. What's happening is now some of them can do images. A multimodal LLM, it's analogous to a computer with more senses. Every child learns that we have 5 senses. I've never met a computer that could smell or taste or touch, but certainly they're going to be able to listen and see. Right? Ears, listen to the customers, see the video. Let me kind of break it down in a more natural way. If I'm texting with Lauren, she might be an AI chatbot. She might not be a human, right? That's equivalent to an LLM. But when I'm on a Zoom call, if I'm on a Zoom call with Lauren and I can see her, hear her, one day that might be an avatar. One day it will be an avatar, right? Purely visual. It's much more powerful. There's so much more power in multimodal. We're all going to go there as computing takes us there. What can you do now? You can use meetings are good places to start. Everybody in this room has too many meetings. Everyone has memos. When I walk my dog at night, once my kids are asleep, I'll record memos of what I got to do later in the week. And you're going to build a voice hub. You're going to use your voice data in your workflow. That's something you can do today. If you have a development team, a CIO, a CTO, have them check out our API. We have all the building blocks you need to build the best voice apps possible. And we'd love to spend time with you. We have a booth right across the way. We'd love to hear from you what you want to build, because we learn the most from our customers, frankly. And finally, just start thinking about your strategy on the multimodal LLM. You're not going to build one tomorrow, but you should think about what voice data matters. What are the data sources that really matter? For most businesses, it's your sales calls, your support calls, maybe some of your training videos, right? That data source you're not using, but what if you could harness it? What if you could spot problems? What if you release a product today, something breaks tomorrow, will you find out? Your Snowflake data won't tell you that. But the customers might be on the phone screaming that something broke. Are you hearing that? So think about what kind of data is going to help you get an advantage. In closing, I want to reflect for a minute on, I want to take a step back, talk about voice. I want to reflect on what is AI really? There's all these, I gave you the Hollywood view. Let me give you so Elon Musk was in DealBook last week, had a very colorful interview with Ross Sorkin, and he said AI is going to be digital God. I admire Elon, but with all due respect, I don't see that. I don't think he's correct. The founder of OpenAI, Ilya Sutskever, the chief scientist, he was speaking at TED 2 weeks ago, and he gave a great one-sentence definition. He said, AI is simply a digital brain in a big computer. I think that's a good definition. I wear this hat almost every day to remind me of all we're doing. So our logo here is styled off an ear. We're trying to build the digital ear for your business, right? I just think listening is so important. I could spend my whole life helping building better technology to help you guys listen. If you could listen to your customers and your people, that's a big advantage. Last thing I'll say is we have in our back our values. I serve, I own, I grow. We serve our customers. We own our results. We try to grow personally. Our history, the reason why we're here, the reason why we're doing this, we didn't start an ad company. We started a company to serve freelancers. And what I find is that the better the freelancers are, the higher the quality of the worker, the higher the quality of the AI, and we're going to keep making it better over time. So we have 2 minutes left. Would love to know if any of you guys have any questions. Where are you seeing AI in your business, or any questions at all? I'd love to engage the conversation, and we'll continue it at our booth, which is right over there. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about where voice AI is going next, or what you'd like voice AI to do for you?
Do you see yourself in the future not just listening to the words, but even how the person is saying something? So, in a sense, they could be simply talking in their normal way, confident, they know what they're saying, and then a question comes across and they have a hesitation, or they have something of an indicator that AI may start to interpret that to people who weren't in that.
100%, 100%. So we actually today, we have an API that can offer, I would say, a very rudimentary sentiment analysis tool, which is what you're talking about here. So as humans, we read emotions, we read body languages. I like to say we're biological, not made of silicon, okay? If you see me, if I see you, I can read your face, I can hear the tone of your voice, I can hear the words. So that's 3 different ways to read feelings: image, sound, and the words themselves. One of my customers tells me that Receptivity is a great company for reading the text, FYI. We're going to pull that together. Any other questions? Yeah, so live interpretation. We don't yet offer live interpretation. We're close. So we offer transcription, speech to text, and we offer translation. So we could, somebody could build that with our technology. So you could do it today. We offer the APIs. You could build it with us tomorrow in a day using 2 APIs. We're going to make that better over time. Translation is behind transcription, and we're rapidly improving it. So I think we could do rudimentary today, but it'll get better over time.